A fight that began 3 years ago in the Oklahoma legislature between factions of the oil and gas industry may be nearing a final battle. The disagreement involves how much space there must be between drill holes and the different tax rates producers pay for the same oil, issues that illustrate the dramatic changes taking place in Oklahoma's energy industry.
A newly formed trade association of small Oklahoma oil and natural gas producers is causing major upheaval in the oil patch by publicly calling for gross production taxes to be raised to 7% for all wells.
We all know the terrible financial condition that the state of Oklahoma is in, and we feel like there are ways that we as an industry can lead by example.
That proposal immediately got the attention of the Oklahoma Independent Petroleum Association.
If we are number one in the country as far as attracting new investment for oil and gas, why would we want to change that at this point in time, just coming out of a horrible downturn, when we already pay 25% of all the taxes paid in this state?
Under current state law, all new horizontal oil and natural gas wells pay 2% gross production tax for the first 3 years. Then the tax goes to 7%. The Oklahoma Policy Institute says that tax break is costing state government billions. They estimate over $500 million alone next fiscal year. A study by Headwaters Economics shows Oklahoma has the lowest effective tax rate among top energy-producing states for both oil and natural gas. Tim Wigley is the president-elect of the Oklahoma Independent Petroleum Association. He believes the new Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance is using the tax issue as cover to kill two other bills in the legislature, Senate Bills 284 and 669.
The people out here from the small organization, the new organization, are using that as a tactic to try to bring down the long lateral legislation in the end.
Senator Bryce Marlatt of Woodward is chairman of the Senate Energy Committee and author of Senate Bill 669.
Technology has outpaced our rules at the Corporation Commission because of the ability to drill longer laterals than historically we've drilled.
We're the only state around in this region that doesn't have the ability to drill long lateral wells, and so we think it's time, is the future. You know, if you think back 10 years ago where technology was, where technology is going to be 10 years or 15 years from now, we feel like now's the time for us to kind of get a little more modernized.
But it is the modernization that's causing controversy.
The budget's the number one thing, and this one may be number two. You know, I mean, it's a huge deal.
I represent a lot of small producers. We're getting absolutely murdered by these horizontal wells. What happens is, besides them taking our production, the pressure differential in these wells causes a change in fluid flow.
Lee Levinson is an oil and gas attorney and an oil man. He is co-founder of the newly formed OEPA.
I am not against horizontal drilling, but we have to have protection. I'm tired of people telling me they're taking care of me. Everybody loves us, and I'm tired of it. They don't.
Darlene Wallace is president and CEO of Columbus Oil Company in Seminole.
People don't seem to understand how complicated this issue is and how much it's going to affect the original people who brought production into this country.
Wallace joined the new oil and gas organization feeling betrayed by the other trade groups which are backing the Senate bills.
We're being discredited by, in my opinion, OIPA, because they have abandoned the small producer, and by OCOGA, who is formed for the large producers.
And Dewey Bartlett Jr. says they have thousands of potential members.
The vertical wells are what brought us here, and we still have a very significant presence in the state of Oklahoma. Of the approximate 4,000 operators of oil and natural gas wells in Oklahoma, I'd say 95% of them are the vertical well operators.
Senator Bryce Marlatt believes the small producers already have protections from interference by the long lateral drilling of big oil companies.
There are cases whenever that happens, and it's something that you've got to take seriously. But there's a process in place at the commission to address that, and there's also district court where they can address that.
Joe Warren is a partner in Cimarron Production Company with vertically drilled wells in the Kingfisher area, which is part of one of the hottest drilling areas in the state, known as the Stack.
14 of our vertical wells that had been impacted by horizontal drilling, to one extent or another, from a little bit all the way to totally lost.
Warren says the horizontal drilling has already cost his company production and increased maintenance costs.
It would occur generally on the fracking of the well. We would see pressure waves come through our production. In one case, we had frac sand in our wellbore. And not all of those wells were even in the zones that our well was producing out of.
To recoup the financial losses, Warren expects to end up in court.
None of the recourse is good. I think probably filing lawsuits is our only hope of getting made whole. And even then, it's tough. There are laws in the oil field that make it hard to recover.
The two Senate bills will likely eventually be combined into one. They have already passed the Senate by unanimous votes. Members of the House are now the focus of Oklahoma oil men, those who want the new, longer horizontal wells, and those who want protection from them.